Buying or selling real estate can be stressful. After all, it's not any old house we're talking about, it's your home. So when it's time to buy or sell, you want to make sure your search is in capable hands. That's why we turn to Angie Cole and the team at A. Cole Realty. You've seen Angie featured on HGTV's House Hunters. Realtor magazine named her one of the top realtors in the country. And just ask us, the numbers back her up. So listen up as we cover all the ins and outs of buying and selling a home here in the Triangle. It's time for the Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole. I'm Walter Storholt. Thanks so much for taking some time out to join us. Angie is the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty right here in the Triangle, serving you not only in Raleigh, but all the surrounding communities as well. Angie, how you doing this week?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Glad to hear that. Looking forward to our program today. We're going to answer some of your questions coming up on the show here in a few moments. We'll also see what's happening in the news in the real estate world. We'll take a look at some recent headlines and get Angie's reaction to some intriguing items. And in the listing of the week, a really, really cute home that you won't want to miss. That's all coming up on today's program. But first,
time to celebrate. It's the A. Cole Realty Rundown.
It's time to see which homes were bought and sold with A. Cole Realty. And in our closing recap of the past week or so, Angie, how many success stories do we have to feature this week?
Yeah, so it was July 4th week, but we still had 3 closings with our team.
Nice.
So congratulations to you guys. So first of all, we had Sean and Elizabeth who purchased a home in Raleigh. Sweet young couple. And I know from what my buying agent says, they were absolutely amazing to work with. We then had a sale, and we also represented the buyer on our sale.
Oh, okay.
So I had a listing in Knightdale.
One of those dual agency things, right?
Yes, but we only practice designated dual agency is the way our team is set up. But yes, it was actually a client who I met from the radio show.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So sweet as can be a couple, John and Charlene, they had a home in Knightdale that they really hadn't even owned it all that long. I think it was under 2 years. But they decided to move to be closer up to Wake Forest, to be nearby their kids' school. So driving for them was, kind of the factor in moving. So John and Charlene, congrats on the sale of your home in Knightdale. And then we ended up getting a sign call. Someone just called off of our for sale sign for that home. And Matthew and Rebecca were relocating to the area. And so one of my buying agents showed them the home, and we went under contract, and now we have both a happy buyer and seller. So we had 3 great closings last week.
That's awesome. Have John and Charlene found their new home yet, or now will they be on the hunt for a new one?
They actually decided to hang tight and rent for probably a year,
Okay.
and then from there. Their
Cool.
main goal was just to get sold, get acclimated with a new area, and then go from there.
Yeah,
Yep.
makes a lot of sense. Very common strategy, I would imagine.
Yes.
Very good. Well, congratulations to all 3 of those transactions. Or I guess one was kind of the same transaction, but 2-sided, obviously. So 3 different groups celebrating closings this past week. And we always like to celebrate the closings with a sound. And, since there were 3 of them, this should be 3 cheers. But instead, since it's so hot outside, everybody's probably thinking about the swimming pool. We'll celebrate this week's closings with 3 great big cannonballs into the swimming pool. Always fun celebrating the success stories with Angie Cole and her team. 3 new happy folks celebrating their home closings this past week. If you would like to possibly be the next success story, think about listing your home or buying your home with Angie Cole and her team here in the Triangle. You can call or text Angie directly at 919-538-6477. She can set you up with a complimentary consultation for your home to sell it, or a buyer's consultation as well. 919-538-6477 is again the number to call to get directly in touch with Angie Cole, or you can text that number as well. Well, as I mentioned, we like to kick off the show each week with answering some of your questions, and we've got a great one from Billy to start things off this week, Angie. Billy in Holly Springs says, we're ready to buy our next home. I don't think we'll be in there, but for 5 years or so. Resale value is top of mind for us. Would it be best to spring for a 4-bedroom home if that's the case? Or is a 3-bedroom home going to have good resale value too?
So if you have the choice, Billy, I would definitely go with either a 4-bedroom home or a 3-bedroom plus a bonus. Okay. And I tend to find actually a 3-bedroom with actually a larger room, so that could be used as a bonus room, sells better than 4 small bedrooms. Because if you think about it, most of the people that are getting the larger homes, they probably have children, and they like to have that separate living space for hangout, TV room, toys, or whatever it might be. So yes, if you are looking or focusing on future resale value, I would definitely try to spring for either a 4-bedroom home or a 3-bedroom with a bonus.
What's a good search tip? Because I know, like, from experience of looking at homes, when you have kind of a specific need like that, it can be a little arduous to, once you lower it from 4 bedrooms to 3, in this example,
right?
Well, now you have a billion more homes that have popped up in your search, but maybe only a handful have that bonus room that you're looking for. Is it just you got to weed through all that stuff, or is there a way to kind of narrow it down?
No, you actually do. That's something I always teach, new agents that join our team is make sure you ask that question. So I'm asking you, hey, Walter, what's a minimum bedroom count you're looking for? Oh, I want 4-bedroom. Okay. Is that 4 bedrooms and a bonus, or is it 3 bedrooms with a bonus that could be used as a 4th bedroom? And so if you are open to, for example, all right, a 3-bedroom with a bonus will work, we actually will just only do a minimum of 3 bedrooms in our searches. Yes, it will populate homes that do not include the bonus room, but if we don't put the search engine to only show the 3 bedrooms, we then will eliminate homes that have the 3-bedroom with a bonus, because you can put in like a feature to include a bonus room, but if the listing agent didn't put that in as a feature, then it wouldn't populate the home, which most don't. So if you are interested in a 3-bedroom with a bonus room, we need to make sure that we do just a minimum of 3 bedrooms, and you have to weed through them.
Yeah, it's just one of the tougher parts, I guess, there, Billy. But great question, and I think that's something that a lot of people probably have that question, right, Angie?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And so, Billy, it looks like you're thinking about buying a home, and our team, of course, would love to be your go-to and give you some guidance and help you out with your home search. But a great way to get started is, of course, by understanding the process from start to finish, all the terminology, just to make sure that you have a seamless and smooth process from start to finish. So if you would like to receive a copy of our home buying guide, you can text the word contract to the phone number 555-888. So once again, to receive a copy of the home buying guide, it's a great document for both buyers and sellers. Just text the word contract to the phone number 555-888.
Very easy to do, and you get that buying guide right there on your smartphone. Again, just text the word contract to the number 555-888. We'll send you a text right back with a link that you can click on to view that buying guide, and you can even download it and save it to your phone for later use, or even email it to yourself. Just text the word contract to the number 555-888 to get Angie Cole and the A. Cole Realty team's home buying guide. Sammy in Fuquay has our next question. Sammy says, I'm probably overly paranoid about this, but I have a terrible fear of buying a home and ending up like the house Tom Hanks buys in The Money Pit. You know, the lemon law for vehicles where you have the legal recourse if you're sold a car that's got lots of defects. Is there anything like that for buying a house? What happens if I move in and everything breaks all of a sudden?
Unfortunately, Sammy, the way that it works in North Carolina, and it can be different from state to state, but once you close on the home, you take on all responsibilities and liabilities. Same thing before you close on the home. At that point, it is, seller beware, but once you close on the home, it's buyer beware state. Right. So unfortunately, if you have a lemon per se, or just issues start to arise, you would be responsible for those issues. Now remember, depending on what the issue might be, you do have your homeowner's insurance that is required if you are obtaining financing. And even if you're paying cash, I would still get homeowner's insurance just to be safe, but that would protect you in some instances. Also, maybe a home warranty would be a smart purchase. Home warranties range anywhere from like $400 to $600 depending on how extensive the home warranty is, but that will cover you for a year, and that will cover most of the the larger systems. So maybe your HVAC breaks, or maybe, there's a plumbing issue. It's great to have that warranty in place to protect you. You just had the servicing call. They come out. If they can't fix it, they replace it. But yes, Sammy, you are taking that risk, but that's why you do your due diligence up front. You get your inspections done just so you know what you're about to purchase.
Right. And that's the big difference. With a vehicle, you can't really do the due diligence, and that's why probably that law's there to protect you.
You're exactly right.
But in your home, you've got ample time and opportunity to inspect almost every nook and cranny of the home. And so you're kind of going into it with eyes wide open. You
are. Definitely a lot more versus buying a car. There's still going to be things that break and that go wrong. But for the most part, as long as you have hired, professionals to do those inspections, then, the bigger issues definitely should have come to light.
Now, if, let's say, the home inspector didn't find something that they should have, and it was a major defect, maybe they were supposed to inspect the crawl space, and there were major issues down there, and the home inspector maybe just, obviously this would be very negligent, but let's just say they never even crawled the crawl space because they were didn't feel like it that day, so they just skipped it, and they missed it, and now you get in there and you discover something. You could potentially have, this is a legal question, but recourse with the home inspector in that situation.
Yeah, that's tough for me to answer.
It's a common thing, but
I bet you the inspector really quick is going to say, "Hey, read the contract that I had you sign," which says pretty much releases them from all liabilities. But if a client, took it a step further, if it was well known that they should have known or should have found the issue, there probably could be some recourse. But I don't ever know that answer.
Yeah.
You're right, though.
Yeah, but that fear probably is overly paranoid, Sammy. So you do your due diligence, and you'll have a good idea of whether you're walking into a lemon situation or not. Very good question, though, Sammy. Thank you for sending that one in. If you'd like to submit a question, you can do that online at acolerealty.com. You can also, again, get that home buying guide that Angie Cole and her team have put together. All you have to do is text the word contract to the number 555-888, and you can download that guide right there on your smartphone. For the link, just text the word contract to the number 555-888, and Angie Cole and her team at A. Cole Realty will send you their home buying guide. Great step-by-step overview of the buying process. It's very useful if you're a first-time home buyer or haven't been through the process in a while. Reminds you of the important terms and things that you need to know. Just text the word contract to the number 555-888. Stay right there. We've got much more on the way on today's edition of The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
Buying a home is a daunting task. Don't miss out on key information that will help you along the way. It's the Buying Blitz with Vicki DiProfio of A. Cole Realty.
Vicki, what elements go into developing a solid offer for a home?
One of the first things that I do when a client tells me that they're interested in putting in an offer is I go ahead and pull the comparables, because I want to make sure, especially in this seller's market, that the home that we're getting ready to put an offer in on is going to appraise for what we're offering. I never want my client to get into a situation during due diligence where we realize that it doesn't appraise and then we have to make the decision to walk away. I want to try and keep that money in my buyer's pocket. So I look at the comparables first and foremost. Also considering days on the market when we're making an offer. In this market, if something's been on the market for a few days, a week or so, then we know that we might have a little bit more negotiating power. So those are the kinds of things that I look at when I'm trying to help my buyer make a good decision for an offer.
So if you're thinking about purchasing a home and you want to understand the next steps, it's a great guide that you can receive from start to finish and to take you through the home buying process. You can text the word contract to the phone number 555-888. So once again, to receive a downloadable home buying guide to your smartphone, just text the word contract to the phone number 555-888.
It's time for our listing of the week from A. Cole Realty right here on The Savvy Realtor.
Listing of the week here on The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole. This is where we cover a great home that is for sale right now here in the Triangle. We'll give you all the details on this home right now, and then we'll even give you a way to text in and view the information on this home, pictures and all sorts of good stuff. Angie, where are you taking us this week for the listing of the week?
So we are headed to Raleigh. and Inner Beltline around the Cameron Village area.
Oh, okay.
So love that location.
Nice spot, yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to rent over there, and I just loved, walk into, the restaurants. We'd walk to go get gelato. There's a library. So great location. And our listing of the week, the address is 2602 Wayland Drive, and that's 27608 of Raleigh. So 2602 Wayland, Wayland Drive in Raleigh. And we are listed at $310. A little bit about this home. So it is 778 square feet. So it's a smaller home, super cute. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It was built in 1948, but it's been renovated.
Okay.
So it's absolutely adorable.
Pretty on the outside, just a little Hey, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about when to use the word bungalow.
Yeah, I would say this is kind of
the word bungalow,
a
right?
bungalow, a Cape Cod. Yep, you're exactly right. So like a ranch-style home. It does have an updated kitchen with a tile backsplash, quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances, and 42-inch cabinets. We have on-site finished hardwood floors throughout. We also have a very open living room with a fireplace. There's a custom bar, which is really neat, just for additional seating. There's the remodeled bathroom with a custom vanity, walk-in tile surround shower, and a rain shower head. That walk-in shower is really cool. The living room also has an open layout, like I mentioned. We also have a walk-in basement with plenty of storage space. Also, there could be future expansion as well. There is a new HVAC that was installed at the end of 2016. Out back, we have this kind of like a modern shed that could be used as like an additional living space or maybe an office or a studio. And then we have a fenced-in backyard. So once again, our listing of the week is 2602 Wayland Drive in Raleigh, 27608, which is located in Wayland Heights of Cameron Village. And if you would like to get some more information and view pictures of our listing of the week at 2602 Wayland Drive in Raleigh, located in Wayland Heights of Cameron Village, text the word SAVVY to the phone number 555-888. So once again, text the word SAVVY, that is SAVVY, to the phone number 555-888.
Again, great opportunity to view this home in Raleigh near Cameron Village. Just text the word SAVVY, SAVVY, to the number 555-888. Again, SAVVY, SAVVY. Just text that word to the number 555-888, and that'll allow you to view the information on this week's listing of the week. Just text the word SAVVY to 555-888. More coming up on The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
Light blue, dark blue, red. We all identify strongly with at least one of those colors when it comes to supporting our favorite schools and teams. So what color did A. Cole Realty choose for their logo? Green? Way to stay neutral there, Angie.
Moving right along on The Savvy Realtor today. So glad you're with us. Walter Storholt here alongside Angie Cole. Angie and her team helped 209 families last year buy or sell a home in the area. And each week we recap just how many folks are buying and selling with Angie and her team. It's always fun to celebrate those successful closings and transactions. Had a couple more to mention on today's program back at the beginning. If you'd like to get in touch with Angie, you can call or text her at 919-538-6477. Again, that's 919-538-6477. When you call or text, know that you'll be speaking with 2018's #1 real estate agent in Raleigh, as determined by Midtown Magazine, and the #1 realtor in all of Wake County by the Indy Weekly. So pretty impressive distinctions there. On today's show, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the recent headlines that we've seen in the real estate world, and I'm interested in Angie's opinions on these things. And one was a new term, Angie, that I haven't been exposed to even in, I think, the year and a half or 2 years we've been doing this show together. Bump clauses. Give sellers a safety net was the headline of the article. Basically says that bump clauses are becoming more popular today. The clause allows sellers to continue to market their property even after settling on an offer. If the seller receives a better offer, they can bump up the original buyer to that amount or switch to the new potential buyer. I guess it's kind of like price matching in the store, except going the other direction. You're price matching up in the housing market. Is this a legitimate strategy? Do you agree with the method? Any experience with it?
This is the first time that I've heard of this term as well.
Oh, wow. All right.
There you go. So in our market in North Carolina, this is not a term that we use and not,
this was a national headline.
Standard way of practicing. Definitely not for resale. Now, so in resale, no. Once you officially accept a contract as a seller, you go under contract. It is required that we then change the status in MLS. If we change the status to contingent, that means we can still allow showings. But if someone comes along, they can put in a backup offer. Even if the offer is $50,000 above the initial, offer that we have in place, still the seller cannot just use this bump clause and move on to the better offer. Now, the seller can make it a little bit difficult for the buyer.
I'm not going to do any repairs.
We've been in those instances where a better offer randomly comes along. After being on the market forever, we go under contract and this second buyer comes out of the blue.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe, okay, well, we're going to sell the home as is, take it as it is, or hopefully you'll cancel your offer on us or terminate so we can move on to the other offer.
Yeah.
But no, sellers cannot do that. But with new home sales, a lot of builders have a clause or an addendum as part of their contract, which states, and it's only with the contingencies, like a home to sell contingency. It's not just a normal standard offer to purchase. But if there's a contingency in place, normally there's like a 24-hour right of refusal. So if a buyer comes along who maybe doesn't have a contingency, they can then go back to the initial buyer and say, hey, we have another buyer who's interested. Can you move forward with this home? If not, we will terminate and move forward with the next buyer. Not all builders, but I do see that can be a little bit more common in new construction, but not in resale.
Gotcha.
If you accept an offer, you're stuck as a seller.
Yeah. Very interesting headline, though, in theory. Gosh, I just don't know if I'd want to operate in a realm like that. It just seems...
That's a little shady.
Once you settle on it, I think you settle on it.
Well, and it's the same instance when we're negotiating offers. If I have multiple offers, I can't go to one agent and say, hey, they just offered me $200,000. Can you give me $205,000? You can't disclose your offers. So it's the same case. You can't, and I feel like here you're disclosing what the current offer is in place, right? And in North Carolina, you can't do that. And so if you're thinking about selling your home in North Carolina, we, of course, would love to give you an idea of where you can list your home today. Our job always is to sell your home as quick as possible, but, of course, get you top dollar as well. So if you want to get an idea of where we can list your home and get a price point for your home, you can text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. So on your smartphone, text the word listing, LISTING, to the phone number 555-888. And from there, our team will send you back a link. Make sure you click the link, input your address, and from there, we will give you an idea of what we can list your home for. So once again, text the word listing to the phone number 555-888.
That's all you have to do is pull out your cell phone and send a text to the number 555-888. The word that you put in the message field is listing, LISTING. What'll happen is you'll get a text right back from us. Click on the link and put in your home's information, and then Angie and her team will use their tool to be able to see how much you could potentially list your home for. Keep in mind, it's a first estimate of what you might be able to sell your home for. That value could increase or decrease, of course, after an in-person visit. But it's a great starting point if you're just beginning the process. Again, just text the word listing, LISTING, to the number 555-888. All right, another news headline that I saw recently, Angie, was a survey that was done. So keep in mind, this isn't like a study. This is just a survey. And it wasn't even a survey of people saying, yes, I've experienced this. It was the opinions that they think other people will experience. So it's a little weird. But tight markets causing buyer's remorse was sort of the takeaway of the study. This was from Value Insured Modern Homebuyer. It showed that 62% of Americans think people who buy a home now will have remorse about the purchase within a year. The biggest factor, according to the survey, is simply that prices are too high, and therefore people are going to regret overpaying for the home within a year. Are there other reasons that could lead to higher rates of buyer's remorse, and have you seen some examples of this?
So we unfortunately have, run into a few instances where there has been some buyer's remorse. I've seen it more, though, on the listing side. So where we have a home for sale, we go under contract with a buyer where another agent, in a different firm is representing them, and then that buyer just backs out for no reason. And I think the reasoning, or I pretty much know the reasoning, is such a tight market. There's such low inventory that as soon as a home comes on the market, buyers know they need to jump and move fast or the home will be gone. And they really haven't taken the time to fall in love with a home.
Right.
Or maybe another home all of a sudden pops up and comes on the market that they like better. At the beginning of the year, I had 4 terminations on our listings.
Wow.
Where buyers just had buyer's remorse. I had one instance.
Better to have it during the negotiation than after they've bought it, for their sake, not
That's
for
true.
the seller.
That's true. Yeah. Actually 2 instances, I had multiple offers on listings. We went with the best offer, and both of those buyers backed out for no reason at all other than they just changed their mind. One of them, husband and wife, come to find out only the husband had viewed the home. The wife didn't even see the home until it was time for inspections, which I think we had already been under contract for a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Oh, I don't like it." And it's like, come on. But,
I'm I don't want to walk away from that due diligence money,
Yeah.
It's going to have to be something real bad.
I know. But happy wife, happy life, right? So I guess he was willing to give up his DD, his due diligence money. We did have another situation where the client, we didn't help her or assist her with buying the home. It was in Briar Creek. She bought a townhome, gorgeous, brand new townhome. And with her, it wasn't buyer's remorse as far as the home goes, but it was location.
Okay.
She realized that she didn't love the location and she wanted to be back closer to Raleigh. I think just what she was used to, doing, her daily lifestyle, her new location just didn't work for her. And so she ended up, reaching out to us, and we sold her home in less than a year. Not on the market less than a year, but she had lived in the home for less than a year, and we listed it. So it definitely can happen. 62% seems high to me.
Right. But again, that's just 62% of Americans think other people who buy a home are going to have remorse.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit of a weird question.
Okay, I thought it was saying that 62% of buyers have buyer's remorse.
No, that's how I read it the first time too. But
Yeah.
no, it's just think that others will have remorse due to the
weird.
current
Okay.
situation. It was a weird study, but I thought it would lead to interesting conversation.
But knock on wood, because we always follow up with our clients,
Right.
right after closing, a week after, and then, we kind of quarterly or semi-annually, we reach out to our clients again, just keeping in touch with them. And I can't remember a single situation where the clients have just said, we don't love our home. Everything's great. So
to me, it's based on what you've said anecdotally, it's not so much the pricing that left people with remorse.
No.
It sounds to me, and this, having just gone through this home buying process, it's the pressure of the time and the potential for multiple offers, and your emotions start going crazy as you try and figure out the best choices. And I think that's where maybe people are making decisions because you're having to you're not having any time to absorb.
Right.
We actually got really lucky because we were our emotions were freaking out. There was multiple offer situation. It worked out really well where the sellers actually were out of the country. So all these offers had come in while they were out of the country, and they said, you know what, we'll be back in 3 days. We'll make a decision then.
Right.
And it gave us the ability to kind of process a little bit, think a little bit more about it.
Is this really the home we want to move
solidify
forward
our
on?
decision,
Yeah.
better our offer, all of those things. That was really helpful. If they had made the decision that first day,
Yep.
we may not have ended up with the home because we didn't process it correctly.
Right.
Didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah.
And didn't feel as comfortable with it.
Right. And it's great you were in that, situation, in that position. But a lot of people in today's market and, certain price points and locations, there's no time to think on
Right.
it, and
So do your homework now before you're really even in the game to buy.
Yeah,
Go ahead and do
really,
your homework on the front end.
write down what's most important. What are my wants? What are my needs? To really make sure that you're focusing on what's most important to you.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy a home because it's pretty and then come to find out, you know what? this floor plan is not going to work for us
Right.
at all. What were we thinking? We really need to master down, or, so
Right.
really think about what's important with buying a home. So if the perfect home then pops up, you can move fast.
And as long as those expectations are reasonable, stick to them.
Right.
Compromise is okay, but don't compromise so much to where now you're not
just to
living
be in a
the
home.
you want.
Yeah, like I would rather you go into temporary housing or, go live with family for a short period of time in order to get the home that you love than to, like you mentioned, have that buyer's remorse. And, once you own it, I mean, you're stuck with
Right.
it unless you sell. And if you sell that quick, normally you're not going to make, profit on it. You'll probably be in
Right.
the negative if you sell too quick.
Yeah. Don't expect perfection, but also don't settle.
Yes.
Find the balance between, right?
Agree.
That applies to a lot more things than just
You're exactly right.
Buying a home.
Just
too.
real estate.
Yeah. If you are interested in getting this kind of guidance and advice, you can tell it's a lot more than just, here's some homes to look at and buy it. We go a little bit deeper here on the show. Angie Cole and her team at A. Cole Realty run things the same way in the day-to-day life as well, making sure that you're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's when it comes to buying and selling, thinking of all the different angles, and making sure that you're making right choices along the way, arming you with the best information possible. If you want to work with a team that thinks like that, call or text Angie right now to get the conversation started. 919-538-6477 is the number. You can call Angie or just shoot her a quick text to get the conversation going. 919-538-6477 is that number. One more time, 919 area code, and then simply 538-6477. Angie, thanks so much for taking the time to join us on this week's show. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
That's Angie Cole of A. Cole Realty. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time on The Savvy Realtor.